Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I am here to review more Blue Sky. Hooray! More Blue Sky. But before I do that, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you guys are interested in this review, then check out my other playlist. Especially Blue Sky, because I'm going through right now through each Blue Sky film and reviewing it. And at the end, I'll be giving Blue Sky its personal score for the studio that Blue Sky is. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, then check all that stuff out. Also worth noting too, sometimes YouTube is a little glitchy, so make sure you guys are still subscribed to my channel too, because sometimes YouTube is very glitchy, and also I've seen other people's channels where their comments, they say they have comments, but their comments don't show up. Sometimes I've been commented on my videos, and I can't see them for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't know. Just make sure you guys are still subscribed. And without further ado, let's get into this Blue Sky film. Birds, 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 birds. Don't we love birds? There are so many different species of birds. There are chickens, there are chickens, there are roosters, there are hawks, eagles. The list goes on and on. We just love birds. We all have to admit birds are pretty unique. And also, we just gotta love when they go cheep, 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 or cock-a-doodle-doo, or ba-ba-ba. We just love birds. We just love them. And this film is about birds. This is the sequel to Rio. Is it better than Epic? Because Epic was a freaking disaster. Is this film better than Epic? Well, I'm here to talk about this film, Rio 2. What's Rio 2 about? Well, Rio 2 is I don't know, it's kind of a all over the place a bit. It starts off with the family, wanting to enjoy human life, while Joy wants to be a wild animal. So I guess they go to the they hear about they saw on the news that there are more blue macaws they found. So they decide to go to the Amazon jungle to find it, and there's actually quite a bit of nice animation and stuff with this movie. This movie's actually got pretty good animation. It's better than the first one. It really isn't when it comes to animation, that is. When it comes to story, I don't know if it's better than the first one or not. It's kinda eh. It's kinda eh, though. Don't get me wrong, it's not as bad as Epic. At least all the characters are likable. Sure, there are some of them that are kinda, I don't really care for them, but they're not frustrating like Epic. Like the father, for example. Yeah, Joy finally reunites with her father, and her father's kind of an asshole, but it makes sense. He's got an excuse because he lost his wife, which they don't really talk about too much in this film, and he wants to protect his tribe. So I get it. I get that why he's an asshole to Blue, because Blue, was from humans, and he doesn't trust, Blue, because Blue is part of the humans, because he was a human pet. So I get that. But then we got this weird blue macaw with this weird hairstyle and stuff, and he's kinda, I don't really care for him at all, really. I don't care for him at all. He's kinda just there and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. There's just, I don't really care for him. I don't know if he's Joy's, best friend as a child, or if I think they stated that he's her uncle. I'm not sure though, because he looks too young to be her uncle. So I don't really know. I think he's actually her cousin. Actually, yeah, that's right. I think he's her cousin, because they call the baby birds call him Uncle something. So I don't remember his name though. So yeah, so there's quite a bit going on in this film, and then, like, I guess the villain from the first film, the bird guy, he returns to have revenge. Honestly, he's kind of weak in this movie. He's kind of weak. I'm glad those freaking other humans don't return in this film, because I don't freaking care for them in the first film, so I'm glad they don't return in the second one, but they don't really focus on this this bad bird that much. They don't focus on him too much. He's kind of just there and stuff, and he does try to get revenge on the blue macaw Blue himself, but it just feels like, it's just. They don't focus on him too much. They focus more on the story. They focus more on the story and stuff, and less on the villains. So the villains don't really get their screen time until the very end, because then there's also, the villagers are in danger and stuff. The bluebirds are endangered and stuff because of the jungle is getting taken down by this evil guy who wants to cut down the trees. I don't think they were very clear on why he wanted to cut down the trees. I think he just wanted to do it because he's an asshole, because he's a villain. He's a villain, They don't really explain why he wants to cut down the trees. I don't think they do. They might. I might have just missed it, but I don't know. But I don't really know. But yeah, I don't really know why he wanted to cut the trees down. He just did, I guess. Also, there's this concept with this frog here that she's like in love with this white bird, the bad guy, she's in love with him and stuff, and I just find it kind of weird, but at the same time, DreamWorks, does this stuff all the time, so I'm used to this concept with other species be in love with their separate species, but I don't really know. Yeah, she's in love with. I don't really care for her too much. I don't think she's a horrible villain, but she doesn't really do much in the film either, because again, none of the villains do much. It's mostly focusing on Blue trying to fit in with these birds. It doesn't really, focus on the villains too much. What about the songs? Because this movie's also a musical, just like the first one. The songs are not as good as the first one. Like the song where like the purple frog, is singing and stuff about her love for that white bird guy, whatever his name was. I don't really like it. I don't like the song at all. There are songs I like, but that one I don't like too much. I don't like that one too much, though. I really don't. Yeah, I don't really like it too much, though. Not all the songs are bad, but some of them I don't really think they were necessary for the movie. I think they just kind of sucked, but like the frog one, for example, like I said, her song sucked, but I think that part where they were like practicing an audition for the show, and that white bird, he's like singing, that song was actually pretty good. I like that one, but yeah, I don't think the songs are as good as the first one. So in the way the villain stuff is in the animation's better than the first film, but the songs are not. Yeah, the villains are definitely not as good as the first one. Well, I mean, they're good. They're better than the first one because those human villains sucked. I didn't give a crap about them, but at the same time, they don't really appear appear as much. I don't know. They might be about the same because, well, I think the villain, cutting down the trees, even though he doesn't have, much to, do with the film and all of that. I still think he's a more interesting villain than the first ones, where they're just idiots. That's just the joke of the first film. The villains are idiots. While this one, he actually has the villains have more of a role. Well, actually, they don't have a role. I don't know. Again, it's kind of about the same. While the human villains are better, it's the White Bird. He's not as interested as a villain in this movie as the first one. So clearly, it's kind of flip-flopped around in this. So, but yeah, this film's kind of, it's not really all over the place, but it's just, I don't think it's as confusing as Epic. Also, honestly, Epic, freaking felt like it was a drag to sit through. It felt like it took forever to sit through. While this film, it felt like it went by a lot faster. Even though they're literally about the same amount of time, this film is like 1 minute shorter than Epic, and that's crazy how close they are to each other. While this film is definitely a much better film to watch than Epic. But at the same time, again, there's not really a lot, a lot of stuff to really, that's really, super duper interesting. And again, the animation's really good, and all the characters are not like unlikable. But at the same time, I don't feel really hyped to watch this movie again. I don't feel very hyped. It's not bad per se. It's not really bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not frustrating like Epic and as boring as Epic. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of stuff feels kind of like it's not focused on as much. Maybe if this film was like 2 hours long and had time for the villains to, have more screen time to be able to use their plot and stuff, maybe I can understand that. But this film doesn't focus on the villains too much. I would say it should be shorter on focusing on Blue fitting in, but I think that story part is alright. It's not bad, but it's alright. I don't really like Joy in this movie as much as the first one either. She's about the same, honestly. She's about the same. Basically, she's complaining at Blue because Blue, is, and his kids her kids and his kids, want to enjoy human stuff while she doesn't. So, I mean, I get the father doing that because the father, hasn't really been around humans that are actually nice. But Joy, she should be, like used to it because. A human saved her life, when she broke her wings. So she should not have this excuse to like treat Blue like crap and force him to fit in with other birds. I don't like that, but again, this film is more about it goes from like one segment to the next, and I don't know, there's just not really a whole lot to talk about with this film. I don't think it's fiercely like Epic or as boring as Epic, but I don't think it's as, I don't think it's as good as, as Rio 1. Rio 1 is much better than this film. I think it's much better. And again, I don't think this film is awful per se, like I mentioned earlier. I just don't think it's as good as like Rio 1 or Ice Age 1 or something like that. But I don't know though. I don't really know. Anywho, let's go ahead and rate this one between good, bad, and meh. this film is definitely getting a meh. I definitely think this film is definitely meh. It's kind of mediocre, honestly. It's kind of in the middle, honestly. I mean, I guess if you guys want to see more of your favorite characters, then you guys can watch this film. But there's just not really a lot to it, really. I mean, it's kind of just jumps from like one thing to the next, and I do kind of. And I do kind of, I do kind of, like, I do kind of, like the characters. Like I said, I like the characters, but the villains, the villains are, well, the villains, are not on screen as long, and then they have one return from the first film, which I don't mind him returning from the first film, but I don't think they really gave him a lot of screen time to do stuff, so yeah, it's definitely getting meh. I mean, the animation's pretty good too, but at the same time, I don't really think there's much to go back to with this film. And also apparently, Rio 2, while Rio 1 is on Hulu, so there's no Rio 2 on Hulu. Well, in Disney Plus, I went to Disney Plus because I figured, well, since Daddy has Disney Plus, I figured I'll go ahead and go to Disney Plus because we already have it. If we didn't have it, I wouldn't do this, but I went to go and see if the movies were on there now, because it's been about a few months. Both Rio 1 and Rio 2 are not on Disney Plus, which is really weird while Ice Age 1 and the Ice Age movies are, so I don't really know. I think that's just really weird how that is. It's also a fun fact that this is, out of all the Blue Sky films, this is the only one besides Ice Age to get a sequel too, so that's interesting too. So yeah, it's interesting. That's actually really interesting. But yeah, it's really interesting, how that is though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really, Again, I don't think, really all these Blue Sky films needed a sequel anyway. I feel like, I don't know, I mean, Rio, I guess, was a popular film, but I mean, I don't know how well all these films would have done with sequels, but I don't know, though, Now, this film definitely, I think, is not as bad as Epic, but I don't think it's as good either, so I'm gonna go ahead and in a second and give it a score, but I forgot to open my DS, so hang on, here we go. Alright, it's time for me to give this a score between 0 and 120. What kind of score will I give this film particularly? Well, like I said, it's the villains are, are kind of generic, just like the first film, where like they flip-flopped it around, while the bird in the first film was good, the humans were kind of sucked, while the second film, the bird is kind of the one, he's the one to be generic, while the human films seem to be better, so, and then I said we got the characters are not as they're not bad, but I don't know. I think Joy's kind of frustrating and stuff in this movie, and the animation's really good. The songs are kind of eh. I think I decided I'm going to give this one. I am going to give this one 63 points. Yes, 63 points. This one's getting 63 points. This film is definitely meh. It's getting 63 points though because I don't find the story to be as dull. I think the story is all right. I just wish they would have focused on the villains a little bit longer, and I don't mind the plot where Blue's trying to fit in. I think that's all right. Again, Joy is frustrating, and her dad's frustrating too. But while her dad has an excuse because he's not used to humans, Joy has been around humans for a long time, and humans fixed her wings. So I mean. So clearly Joy doesn't have an excuse here. I guess she just wants her family to enjoy the outdoors, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe she... Because sometimes parents are like that, where they want their kids to get off, electronics and go outside and enjoy the outdoors. That could be a possibility. I think Joy is not a horrible character, but I don't like how sometimes she's, forcing Blue to fit in with these people, and he doesn't clearly want to, and I don't know, this film is not really bad. I don't think it's awful. I think it's kind of eh. And the kids, they're alright. They don't really have much screen time either, so I don't think this film is really that good. I don't think it's bad either. I think 63 points is definitely where this film stands. But I don't really know. I don't know what to say. I don't think this film. I know some people might hate this film, and I accept their opinions. But personally, I don't think this film is really bad. I think it's in the middle for me. Definitely not as good as Rio 1, but at the same time, I think it's definitely better than it's not as good as Rio 1 when it comes to story, but I think when it comes to animation, Rio 2 is definitely better. It's definitely got better animation. But I don't know. I don't know though. Anywho, before I let this go, I should also talk about my comment question of the day. My comment question of the day. Let's see. I don't remember mine from last time. I kind of forgot, honestly. Last comment. I think it was, what was your favorite species of birds? How about this one? How about this one for what is your guys' favorite Blue Sky sequel? I know they've only focused on Ice Age and Rio, but I'm just curious to what your guys' favorite sequel is to a film. Whether if it's Ice Age 2 to 5 or Rio 2. Tell me you guys' thoughts in the comments and answer that question. Well, that's Rio 2 though. That's definitely Rio 2. Definitely a okay film in my book. I think it's alright. I think it could have been better, but it could have been worse at the same time. Well, and I hear they're making a Rio 3. Well, by they, I mean Disney's making a Rio 3 because Blue Sky is no longer around. After seeing what happened to Adventures of Buck Wild, I don't know if I have hope for Rio 3, honestly, because I heard, I've seen Adventures of Buck Wild, little parts of it, seen a reaction to it, and it's awful. It's freaking awful, and the animation looks pretty bad too. So I don't know how well it's gonna do with Rio 2, with Rio 3. But I don't know what to say about this film. About the Rio 3 because it hasn't come out yet. But I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it because I don't want to see this film's Rio 3, so yeah. Because, Disney's not known for making, great sequels. Look how well, you know, the Home Alone movie did. The Home Alone, Sweet Home Alone movie, that freaking did awful too. So, yeah, I don't think Disney is trustworthy for this stuff, but I don't know. I mean, even with Bob Chapek in charge, I feel like they're struggling to make movies and sequels and stuff. So I don't know how well Rio 3 would do, but I don't know. We'll have to see when it comes out, I guess. I don't know. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, and see you guys, next week. I think it's actually, I might not do next week. I might do a week after. I don't know. Because Daddy's going to be off for 2 days straight, so I don't know if I'll do anything. I might. If not, I'll do it the next week after that, so I'll do the following week and do a Blue Sky film. But next up, I think it's going to be the Peanuts movie, I think. Yes, the Peanuts movie, because this stuff is going in order. So far, since Rio 1 came out, they've been releasing a film every year, so yeah. And that trend will continue until after Ice Age 5, so yeah. I mean, after Ice Age 5, I mean after the Bowl movie, whatever that, I think it's Flamter, or I don't remember how to pronounce the name, but it's about a bull, I guess. Which I have not seen that film, so, yeah. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe like I mentioned earlier. And, see you guys later. This is Dash Show Rose. Have a wonderful, fantastic day.